أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Let me say a few words to start with regarding this convention and the way it was organized and done. And really, I want to congratulate and to thank our sisters and brothers in MAS and ICNA for what they have been doing and the way it was organized. Really, for us as speakers, but I'm sure that for you as people attending this convention, it was great, it was good, it was professional, the substance was there, and the way it was organized was great. So please, not only you have to thank your brothers and sisters, but when you talk to Allah, make dua that Allah protect your brothers and sisters, their family, and this is important because you have people who are far from their family, far from their commitment that are so important. And as we are talking about individualism and collectivism, it's important for us to pray for our brothers and sisters, for them to be able to carry on the good work that they are doing. And for us, by attending this year, next year, inshallah, we ask Allah to reward them for what they are doing for Him, for His satisfaction, and for us and our education as Muslims. So thank you so much, sisters and brothers, for what we have been doing and this convention. The second thing that I wanted to say, and I keep on repeating this now because very often it's impossible because we don't have time. It's, I would have liked to have time with the brothers and sisters to sit down, to communicate, and it's not always possible because you have a large number of sisters and brothers. So once again, the ongoing education process that we are trying to put, for example, is two things. I started this year on the website. Every month there is a lecture that is open for all. You can have it live stream with a way for you to ask questions. So just go on the website, tariqramadan.com, and just follow the monthly lecture, which is the topic this year is about freedom and liberations. And we are also expecting from you, as you are here in the West and you are studying, to send articles, papers, essays that we will publish on the website. So please do that. And for some of you who are interested in ethics, we have the Center for Islamic Legislation and Ethics that is working on 11 fields. We have a summer school in June in Europe, but this also could be supported by your universities if you want credit and come to the summer school. These are calls for you to be involved as much as I think, and this will come later, also to be involved in this organization in the United States and to be involved as individuals and as a community. So let me come now to the topic. And as you know, in Islam, in our understanding of Islamic education, it's all about a balanced approach. As much as you have to understand your relationship to Allah is based on two things. The first, what Allah is asking us, every single human being, a woman or a man, young, old, whatever is your situation, is to go through a process of individual education, self-reform. And this is the starting point of everything. You have to care about yourself and to understand that you have responsibilities towards yourself as Muslims. And at the same time, the second dimension is this collective dimension, that you are and you belong to different circles. And as it is said in the hadith, al-aqrab fal-aqrab, you have to care about the circles. The first one is, of course, the first social group or community within which you are, which is your family. And then the neighborhood and the local level is something that you have to care about, the Muslim community and the human family. We are promoting from within our understanding of Islam a dimension of human brotherhood and sisterhood. To be brothers and sisters in humanity, this is the big picture, and you have it. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying in Surah Al-Hujurat, Ya ayyuhan nas, He's talking to human beings and to humanity. And sometimes He's talking to the people who believe, Ya ayyuhal ladhina amanu, the Muslim community. And sometimes He's talking to you within the family when He's saying, وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا, which is the way you have to be good with your parents means there is something which is essential in your family. So this is something which is closer to you. And with your kids, your father, your mother, this is something which is essential. So everything in Islam is about balancing. But be careful. Be careful, because very often we are having wrong understanding of the priorities. So some of you, because they come to conventions and they are members of Muslim organizations, they end up being very active within the organization and neglecting themselves. And some of our brothers and sisters are coming and say, I don't want to be involved in these organizations. I want to have my spiritual education, and they end up not being active. And in fact, this is not the way we have to look at the whole picture. We need, in fact, to be very serious about the way we are following the Prophet ﷺ. And the very essence of us following the Prophet ﷺ, وَلَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ, as we know and we repeat, is to come to one verse in the Quran, قُلْ إِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ فَاتَّبِعُونِي يُحْبِبُكُمُ اللَّهُ. So say, if you love God, follow me. The starting point of us following the Prophet ﷺ is this very specific relationship. In kuntum tuhibbun Allah means it's not a collective thing. It's something which is very intimate. It's very personal. It has to do with loving Allah. But the way you are going to follow the Prophet ﷺ means that you have to educate yourself to love Allah. And by loving Allah, it's not something that you get like this, that is not acknowledging. It's not by saying only La ilaha illallah. No, that's not enough. This is just acknowledging. This is the starting point. You testify. Now it's not over. This is the starting point. And the starting point will be first to say La ilaha illallah, and then to start this personal education where you come from and you start from recognition to love. And love means what I want from Allah is His satisfaction. To be at peace, to be able to say, ادخلوا في السلم كافة وتبتل إليه تبتيلا, as it is said in two different verses, is to enter in God's peace. To be at peace with Him means I love Him. And by loving Him, I come back to my heart. So the starting point of everything which is going to help you to follow the Prophet ﷺ is this very personal relationship that you have with Allah. And it means with whom? With yourself. The way you talk to yourself is the way you talk to Allah, and the way you talk to Allah will have an impact in the way you talk to yourself. So this is something which is essential. And this has nothing to do with, oh, you know what, there is, because some people when they listen to me sometimes say, you know what, I feel in you a Sufi temptation. As if there is a mistake. As if the mystical trend in Islam, loving Allah, is not rooted in the Islamic tradition. So we need to reconcile spirituality, connection to Allah, with activism. An individual understanding of my commitment to myself and my commitment to my community, my communities, family, Muslim community, human, and humanity. So this is something that we need to get in our understanding of Islam. So, in kuntum tuhibbun Allah. So this is where we have to start. And it's conditional. If you love him, this is the way you are going to follow the Prophet ﷺ. So now come to the Prophet ﷺ. And look at the way he was dealing with himself. His wife, in private, Aisha radiallahu anha, was looking at him and seeing something which was very special. He was, during the night, praying more. He was fasting. He was adding to the pillars something which is what we call and we know for ourselves in nawafil. And she was asking him, أَتَتَكَلَّفُ هَذَا يَا رَسُولَ اللَّهِ? Are you not exaggerating? It is not too much. وَقَدْ غَفَرَ اللَّهُ لَكَ مَا تَقَدَّمَ مِنْ ذَنْبٍ وَمَا تَأَخَّرَ. That Allah has forgiven you everything. And look at this. The relationship with إِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهِ أَفَلَا أَكُونُ عَبْدًا شَكُورًا. Shall I not be a servant that is thanking? And thanking means what? Come to another situation. إِنَّا فِي خَلْقِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَاخْتِلَافِ اللَّيْلِ وَالنَّهَارِ لَآيَاتٍ لِأُولِي الْأَلْبَابِ. And the Prophet ﷺ, when he got this verse, he was crying during the night. And Bilal radiallahu anhu, when he met him in the morning, why are you crying? Because I got this verse, that there are signs in the heavens and the earth and the alternation of night and day for those who are full of insight. What does it mean? It means that the Prophet ﷺ was connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a way where he was looking at nature. And this is the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala started everything. Look at the world by converting the way you look at things. Why? Because now you have light in your heart. This education is a personal commitment that you have to have with yourself. No one is going to do it for yourself. No one is going to educate you. No one is going to look after this and to take care of your personal education. And the Prophet ﷺ sometimes was crying and he was alone. Sometimes he was just far from the people and meditating. And the people were around him, the companions, asking, is this a revelation, and why he is crying and why he is like this? He was close to the people, but very much caring about his heart. And saying to his wife in the middle of the night, I should thank Allah, and this is why I am adding to my practice, to my prayers. While the point was not to be forgiven, because he was forgiven. The point was to show my love, to show my gratitude. And this is something that every one of us, and especially in the United States of America, in a consumerist society, you have to look after yourself and you have to care about this dimension, which is the personal education. And this personal education is coming from the dua that we have in the Quran. Allahumma zalamna anfusana wa in lam taghfir lana wa tarhamna lanakunanna min al-khasirin. ظَلَمْنَا أَنفُسَنَا. ظَلَمْنَا أَنفُسَنَا, what does it mean? It means you gave me a heart, I am not taking care of my heart. You gave me an intellect, a mind, I don't care enough about my mind. You gave me a body, a jasad, I'm not enough caring about this. It means that on the individual level, look at yourself. How much time do you give to your mind? And what does it mean? Your mind has rights on you. وَأَعْطِ كُلَّ ذِي حَقٍّ حَقَّهُ. So there is a justice here. You have a mind. You have a heart. And what does it mean to look after yourself? It's not only, when some of our brothers and sisters, they think, spiritual education is only to pray during the night. No. Care about yourself and take care means look at your needs. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put some needs in your heart and you have to look after this. It has to do with this relationship with Him, which means you have to be in communication. Your relationship to the Quran is what? Why do you read the Quran? What is the meaning of reading the Quran? Just to take the Quran and to say, Alhamdulillah, one juz, one hizb, hizbain, talata? No, that's not the point. To read the Quran is to stop, to meditate, and to enter into a communication with Him. And the way He talks to you is the way you talk to yourself. You think about the signs in the Quran, that there are signs. Ayat means signs, and these signs are sending you meaning. It means come close to the Quran to be close to Allah, and the way you are close to Allah is by the way you communicate with yourself, thinking of Him. These are rights, and if you don't, duties as well, and if you don't care about that, how are you going to deal with this relationship? So you need to take time. And anyone in this room, you are students in university, it means that everything that you are trying to do first is to have this education of the self, this liberation process, which is very important in our understanding of Islam. And this is where we have to start. And then with your heart, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, and He's telling us, what, for example, why is the relationship and what is going to be the relationship that you will have with the people you love? Why the Prophet ﷺ was saying to the companions, go and tell the people you love that you love them? Why, for example, myself, for the last 30 years, in every single lesson that I'm teaching to Muslims and non-Muslims, even to my students, say, don't forget to tell the people you love that you love them. What does it mean? It means you don't only care about the people, but you care about your heart, because the way you say it, it's a way it's going to give you some comfort, some sense of being good with people and being good with yourself. When you say to somebody, I love you, it's not only for you, but I'm expressing something which is coming from my heart. It means I listen to my heart. And as I listen to my heart, I want you to hear, to listen to my heart the way I'm telling you this. This is the power of brotherhood and sisterhood. This is where you care about this, that you are so just with your heart that you listen to it and you are able to translate this into words. How much are you doing this? This is something which is individual commitment to be fair with your heart. And with your mind is to take time to educate your mind. Everything which has to do with Islam is about education. So on the individual side, everything that you are doing, even if you are in university, or if you are not in university, you have free time, spare time. Take time to educate your mind, to get a better understanding of things. But it's not only about books. It's also about human beings. How much time are you taking to look at your father, to look at your mother, to look at your wife or your husband or your kids? How much time you take to read them? Not to come to at home say, my father, to read the people around you, to try to get the psychology. This is the way your mind is going to work. It's to read the world, because when Allah said at the beginning of the Quran, اقرأ باسم ربك, it was not only the book, it was the world. And the world is human beings. Read. So sometimes you meet with people who are telling you, Salamu alaikum, my brother, but they don't read you. They just say things without looking at you. It's very formal the way we are. But how are you going to change this? By saying by people, stop being formal? No. Come to in depth to your heart. Read your heart, you will be able to read me. Read your heart more. And the psychology is coming from a personal relationship that you have with your heart. And try to get this. So this is something which is individualism, but in a way, it's the way you come back to yourself, deep into yourself, because deep in your heart, this is where you are getting to get this openness beyond your ego. The more you come in, the better you will be out. Come in, and this is the way you are out, beyond your ego. Because the first jail is your ego. And when we are in the United States of America, we are in this society, the commitment is, I need to educate myself. I need to be fair with this. Sometimes it has to do with my heart, always, by the way, with my heart, always with my mind, and even with my body. You have to be very careful. One of the first questions that you will get after your death is, what have you done with your health? So this is why I have a personal fatwa, which is sometimes tougher, and it's tougher from many other scholars when they are saying smoking is makruh. No, my position on this is smoking is haram. Haram. You can't put money to buy a product that is destroying your heart, destroying your health, destroying yourself, while so many people around you are starving and they want to eat. And you are putting money to smoke. I can't even think that this is acceptable for Allah. I don't think that this is possible. No. Just stop smoking if you smoke. That's the point. So this is the individual commitment. This is where we have to be involved in our personal education. And this is where, by coming very deep and looking at this and thinking about the Prophet ﷺ, you know, many people are repeating this quote that I'm always saying, but I want you not to repeat it, but to meditate. The Prophet ﷺ was praying during the night in order to change the world during the day. In fact, alone with Allah, talking to Him, because when you pray during the night, when you meditate during the night, when you have a very personal relationship to silence and you talk to Him, you communicate, you tell Him things that you cannot say to anybody. And when I was young, I will remember until the day I will die what my father told me once when I was crying, and he looked at me and said, if you cannot say it to me, say it to Allah. He can understand what your father can't. Just talk to Him. Whatever you have in your heart, whatever you feel, talk to Him. But talk, say something. Come to Him, He will come to you. Come to Him running, He will come to you. Come to Him walking, He will come to you running. This is this relationship. Reading the Quran, praying is the way you come close. So this is a struggle. But now with this is where you have to understand that in the Hadith al-Bayhaqi, the best among you are the best for humanity. And it starts with in private. Where are you going to test the way you are fair with yourself? Where is the test? The test is not when you are here in this convention, because if I look at you, it's as if we have angels in the room. You are so nice. You appear to be so nice. And everybody knows in this room that you are not as nice as you appear. And this is why you keep on repeating like me, غفرانك, غفرانك, Allahumma اغفر. We are all saying this because we know that what we show is not who we are. And yet the first test is going to be in your family, where there is this link between your private relationship to Allah and your private relationship with the beloved ones. The way you talk to your mother, لا تقل لهم أف. Uff, it's not possible to say. Nobody is going to see this except your mother and your father and your kids. The way you talk to your kids, the way you respect your kids. This first collective translation of what is intimate is the way you talk at home. It's the way some of our brothers are coming here and say, that's very good, this lecture was very good. They go at home and they sit down and they don't do anything. They say, you know what, I'm following the footsteps of the Prophet, MashaAllah, alayhi wassalam. Except that the Prophet at home, kana fi khidmati ahli, that he was helping at home. That in this private setting, this is where you are tested first. So the first attitude is the way you are within your family, communicating, caring, helping, and being involved. But Be careful. Ibn Abbas was saying when he was looking the people after him and coming at Tabi'in, he was saying, you are doing things for us, they were big things. And now for you, these are details. The way you talk, the way you express yourself within the family, it's so important because this will have an impact outside. The first collective dimension is the way you talk. You can talk to yourself in silence. You can sometimes even in silence insult yourself. But there is one first point when you come with your family. This is the way you talk, your expression, the words that you are using, the way you are talking. It's the first translation. Tell me the way you talk with your parents when they are here or absent. I will know where you are in your educational, your spiritual education. This is as simple as that. Listen to the way the people are talking, the way they talk, the words, the attitude, the body language. All this is the first collective dimension. And this is where you have to educate yourself. And then comes the relationship with neighbor. لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى يحب لجاره ما يحبه لنفسه. This is deep and this is very heavy. That if you don't like for your neighbor what you like for yourself, your faith is not complete. And your neighbor is not said only Muslims. Muslims and people of other faiths. And this is where you have to serve the people. And then there is this humanity. And this is where, as Muslims, you have to be involved. But one thing which is important. Listen to yourselves in 2 points. Know your needs and respond to what is important with your heart, your mind, and your body. But the second point is that when you enter within a society, listen to yourself and know that you may have skills, you may have needs, you may have interests that are not the same for everybody. And for example, it's over. Do I have 2 minutes still? He's not with me. Okay, I carry on, alhamdulillah. This is the second time he's helping me to carry on. So what I was saying is that you have to listen to yourselves in the way you have to look at what are your skills, what can you provide people with. Some of you are very good in learning, educating, reading. They work with their mind and they can provide the community with critical thinking or even being scholars, ulama, or being intellectuals. That's fine, do that. Some others, they are not, and this is why our understanding of Islam, when you deal with the collectivity and the community, you should understand we need a diversity of skills. So you have to ask yourself, what can I give? Islam is about giving. So if, for example, you have some skills in social work, do that. If you are an artist, if you like to write, do that. Serve the community listening to yourself, not by neglecting yourself. And this is something that the fathers and the mothers should understand. Don't educate your kids for them to be like you want them to be, but by merging what they want to do with what they can do in the community. Listen to them and not to your expectations. This is where you are going to be powerful. This is where you are going to be useful within the community. So I would say that as Muslims, this is the balance. But don't be completely involved in activities where you don't care about yourself enough. You don't do the job. You are not looking at your needs. And this is the way the community will benefit from your presence, because you are trying to be a balanced person. This is where you are going to be effective in what you give to the community, but in all fields. And no one can dismiss this. You are not asked to be ulama or scholars. You are not asked to be all, within university. We have different skills. And this is where we have to be involved in social. For example, this organization here, MAS, is where we need different skills, and we need brothers and sisters to be involved at all levels in solidarity work. But we also need people who are very strong and more courageous. Some of you are more courageous than others. And this is why we need courageous voices in this country to be able to say, I don't agree, and you have to be at the forefront of the struggle. You know, when people are coming to me and say, you know what, Tariq, it's good because you are talking, in a very direct way and you are challenging. I have no merits for that. I'm coming from a family, it was all about this. I was born with that. I saw a father, I saw a mother, I saw a grandfather who was killed for that. I have no merit, so I'm just following. I'm just following. The point is that everyone, so I'm doing something which is close to what I had as skills coming from the family, and this is just what I'm doing. But every one of us, in his capacity or her capacity, do what you have to do and come with this within the community. And always balance between what you need and what you give. And what you give in the light of what you need. And what you need never should it be against what you give, but marrying and merging the two dimensions. And this is what we need in this community. And if sometimes you feel that you cannot do, that it's too heavy, stop. And tell your brothers and sisters, I need time. We are not in a hurry. If you feel that it's too much, if you feel that you cannot do what is expected, just tell the people around you, I can't do it. Not now, I need time. This is essential. Listen to your needs and listen to your heart and listen to your mind. And sometimes you can just rest for a while and come back later. There is no problem with this. This is the way we have to deal with it as Muslims. So, brothers and sisters, while you are here in this convention and coming and listening to talks, and with this organization here, asking you also to be involved, please. The more we are, the better we will do the job, and everyone in his or her field, this is what is expected today. But we need you to be much more involved, and the community should be a community of brothers and sisters who are committed and not coming to lectures as they are following fashion every year. This is why we need brothers and sisters to be much more committed with some of our principles. And please, while I'm ending here, listen to your heart, listen to your mind, and come with this communication with Allah, and ask Him always to help you to be permanently, constantly faithful to your principles. Remember the Prophet ﷺ, he was always saying, Ya muqallib al-qulub, thabbit qulubana ala dinik. Meaning we are very fragile. Anything could happen. Or you help us to remain Muslim tomorrow as we are today. And if you get the sense of this fragility, you understand the meaning of your duty. Wallahu a'lam wa a'la wa ahkam. May Allah help you, love you, and protect you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.